Welcome back to the Guild Tremor video strategy guides. I'm Danton, one of our main tanks, and today I'll be explaining the Sindragosa encounter within the Icecrown Citadel. Sindragosa is the second boss in Frostwing Halls, has just over 11 million hit points, and it has two main phases. She also performs an air phase periodically. Since she is a dragon, be wary of her frontal cleaves and tail swipes. Sindragosa has constant AoE attack that deals 4,500 frost damage every 3 seconds. If you haven't learned already, Sindragosa aggroes almost immediately upon the death of both Rhymefang and Spinestalker. Phase 1 begins as soon as Sindragosa lands. The tank picking her up should turn her sideways due to cleave and tail swipe, and should position her at the bottom of the steps. During Phase 1, one of the things to watch out for is Permeating Chill, which is a debuff that causes 1000 frost damage per 2 seconds for 8 seconds and is stackable. Permeating Chill has a 20% chance to be applied to the target by any melee attack on Sindragosa. Another thing to watch out for is Unchained Magic. This is a debuff that is applied to both a DPS caster and a healer and does not affect tanks. Every spell cast produces a secondary debuff called Instability, which causes 2000 arcane damage to the caster after 5 seconds. This can and will stack with each spell cast. The final thing to be aware of during Phase 1 is Sindragosa's Icy Grip, which pulls all nearby targets to Sindragosa. Immediately following Icy Grip, Sindragosa follows with Blistering Cold, which takes 5 seconds to cast and deals 30,000 frost damage to all targets within 25 yards of her. The raid should immediately run out of this area while she is casting, or suffer serious damage or even death. Tanks need to worry about one additional ability called Frost Breath. This deals around 30,000 frost damage to players in a 60-yard frontal cone. In addition, the player's attack speed is reduced by 50%, and movement speed is reduced by 15% for 90 seconds. It's survivable, but can be extremely annoying when attempting to reposition Sindragosa after her flight phase. Upon hitting 85% health and every 1 minute and 50 seconds afterward, Sindragosa will lift off into the air and begin her flight phase. 2 targets will be marked by a frost beacon and will shortly become frozen in ice blocks. Any targets within 10 yards of these 2 targets will also become ice blocks. It is imperative that the 2 marked players spread out and stay away from the other raid members, as getting more ice blocks than needed can and usually does cause a wipe. After freezing 2 players, Sindragosa will promptly bombard the raid with frost bombs. They are easily seen on the ground as a swirling frost mist and must be line of sighted by the ice blocks that the players become. A total of 4 frost bombs are used per flight phase. By the end of this phase, the frozen players must be broken out or they will suffer 8% of their total health per second as damage due to asphyxiation. So you'll probably notice that right here I've edited the video a bit. Fear not, all I've done is condense the video down to save on both your time and mine. Let's take a look at Phase 2 now. Phase 1 and the flight phase will alternate back and forth until Sindragosa reaches 35% health, after which she is permanently grounded and Phase 2 begins. She will retain her Phase 1 abilities, but will continue to cast Frost Beacon on random players one at a time. In addition, she will cast Mystic Buffet as an AoE ability every 8 seconds, which causes players to take 10% increased magic damage and lasts for 10 seconds. The tactic of this phase is not a DPS race as some might think, but a controlled use of ice blocks to line of sight Sindragosa, preventing a new stack of the Mystic Buffet debuff. Tanks will need to alternate every 7 or 8 stacks of the debuff to remove it, and the raid will need to adjust accordingly, depending on which player gains the Frost Beacon. The tactic we used was to have a central point for our raid to stand, and to have a person marked as the new ice block shift either left or right, depending on which side was available. This helps to prevent players from spreading the ice block and causing another wipe. Remember, this phase is about control, not about bold and heroic DPS. To put it plainly, being DPS retarded will cause the raid's death. As always, thanks for watching our videos. If you have any questions, I encourage you to post them on the YouTube comment section below, or feel free to visit our website forums at www.feelthetremor.com.